Everyone that plays video games has that one game that not necessarily made them fall in love with video games. For the sake of this intro, I'm assuming you do have that one game, but it changes the way you play or view video games and took over your life for a period of time. For some, that game is Final Fantasy VII when it came out in 1997. For others, it was Resident Evil 2, or really any of the first 3 Resident Evil games. Games like San Andreas, BioShock, Majora's Mask, Halo, Black Ops 2, 2018 God of War, all these games, and obviously many more, from the plethora of iconic games we've been blessed with. For me, that game is Batman Arkham City. It's the game I replayed the most, more than Black Ops 1's campaign, which is insane because I also no-lifed that game over and over again as a kid. And I still play Batman Arkham City to this day. Not always, not often, but when I'm sitting down thinking about life, I think, man, it would be really cool right now to fly around as Batman. And so I re-download either Arkham City or Arkham Knight. Sometimes I even re-download all 3 games and play through the whole trilogy all over again. Before Arkham City, I never really played AAA character-focused single-player games. Sure, as a kid I played the God of War games and loved them, but just like the majority of boys born in the late 90s to early 2000s, I was bit by the first-person shooter bug, and so I almost exclusively only played Call of Duty. I didn't play any Resident Evils, Personas, Kingdom Hearts, Elder Scrolls, Final Fantasies, etc, etc. I didn't even know these games existed, nor did I care that they did. And why would I when I'm playing World at War, Modern Warfare 2, Black Ops 1, Modern Warfare 3, and Black Ops 2, which came out the year after Arkham City. But it all changed in 2011. Not only did my favorite team win the Super Bowl that year, but Arkham City also came out. I didn't play Arkham Asylum. I knew the game was out. It wasn't until one day I saw my cousins playing Arkham City, and 10-year-old me was in awe. Seeing them grapple onto a ledge and then transition into a glide so seamlessly was so cool. It blew my mind. The idea of being able to play as Batman was a dream to me. One of my first shows growing up as a kid, I even had the box set, was the Batman cartoon that came out in 04. And to be able to do the things that Batman was doing in that cartoon in a video game was a dream come true. And Arkham City really allowed you to become the Batman. The open world was made catered to the Batman experience, which makes the game so immersive. It's truly a rarity in open world games for the open world to feel immersive, like the character's personal sandbox. I've only ever gotten that with Arkham City and Arkham Knight, and recently with Control. And this really set the bar high, as this was my first open world game. And what an introduction. This game went triple platinum in my household. Not only was it an amazing introduction to open world games, but most importantly it was a great introduction into the Batman mythos. Sure, I knew the basic knowledge of the Batman world, like the first Robin is Dick Grayson, whose parents died in a carnival accident. I knew the important figures of Batman's rogues gallery, but this game really was a gateway for me, and probably for you too, to dig deep into the Batman lore. From side missions like Cold Call Killer, where you have to track down Victor Zsasz, a deranged serial killer who cuts himself for every life he takes. A side mission that had me on the edge of my seat. To other side missions like one titled Tea Party, where the Mad Hatter, a spin on the character from Alice in Wonderland, poisons Batman, puts him under a spell, and Batman has to break from it. This was my introduction to these characters of Batman's wider rogues gallery. It was fun, and still is to play as a Dark Knight, and to go up against these villains who have various motivations, unique aesthetics, and forcing Batman to confront them using different aspects of his skill set. One of those skill sets provides one of the best mechanics in gaming history. Another reason I love Arkham City is because it was the first time I saw the idea of Batman being the so-called world's greatest detective fully realized. I know the 90s animated series delves deep into the detective side of Batman, but at the time of playing Arkham City, I haven't watched it yet. The 2004 series gets really into it also.
But tonight, I'll let science dictate what is and isn't supernatural. I'm looking for a follicle, a sliver of dead skin, anything in this mud that might contain a trace of Grundy's DNA.
Nolan's Batman trilogy barely gets into it. It's almost comical. But being part crime fighter, part ninja, those gameplay aspects are sick. But detective mode is one of my favorite features of the gameplay. The mechanic in the sense of being able to be used almost all the time to see the world through a different lens is fantastic because it adds another perk to the experience, the Batman experience. But to me, it's the investigator aspect of detective mode that makes the Batman experience in this game even more sublime because it adds another layer to the character, that being the world's greatest detective. And I love how much of it we get in this game. With side missions, like having to figure out who's behind these mysterious, brutal murders happening around the city. We have the side mission against Deadshot, and I like how it's billed as the world's greatest detective versus the world's greatest assassin. Even Ra's al Ghul plays into it as well. One of my favorite details in the Arkham series is that in Arkham Asylum, when you would investigate a crime scene, Batman would have to cycle through different filters to be able to see what he was after, which was a neat detail. And in Arkham City, the technology for detective mode was more advanced, so he didn't have to use different filters. And then in Arkham Knight, it was even more advanced, where he can now fully 3D render, virtual reality recreate a crime scene off of one piece of wood. P.S. I know this 3D detective mode mechanic was first used in Arkham Origins, but for the sake of in-world continuity and the point I'm trying to make, we'll ignore that. The boss fights in this game are fantastic. The Grundy boss fight is always fun. The Clayface boss fight will always be a memorable final fight. But the Mr. Freeze and Ra's al Ghul boss fights are some of the best ever. Everything that can be said about the Mr. Freeze boss fight has already been said. The Ra's al Ghul fight, the lead up to it, the in and out of action sequences, the direction of these fights were chef's kiss. Seeing the way Batman is pushed to his limits is insane. His identity as Bruce Wayne is discovered. He's placed in a wall-off city with the most dangerous criminals he's ever faced. He's literally dying, and at the same time trying to unravel a vast conspiracy. And to go through all of that, he has to go through the Joker, Penguin, Two-Face, Ra's al Ghul, and Mr. Freeze, not counting the villains from the side missions, of course. The design of the map is perfection. The art direction was really important to demonstrate the different qualities and characteristics of sections of the map. From the Steel Mill, Wonder City, the GCPD building, and the museum, each set and environment brilliantly crafted is made with careful attention to detail and flair. And in that sense, Arkham City does feel like a city, and sometimes like a city within a city, with the various POIs and the way they're put together on the map, with an expert consistency of map design that makes the world fully realized. And as I said in the beginning, all of this really makes you appreciate the sandbox that was made for the true Batman experience. Every gargoyle, ledge, tower, building, vent, wall, and street was made with the idea that this is Batman's domain, and that we the player have to feel that. And we do. This not only is one of the best superhero video games ever made, it's one of the best games ever made, period. It's a game that I, and millions of others, routinely go back to. I know every building, street, and inch of the map like the back of my hand. It's a captivating experience, and one that continues to be as riveting today as it was when it first came out, 14 years ago. 14 years ago. Damn. I mean, even Harley Quinn's Revenge was the first DLC for a single-player AAA game that I ever bought. Before that, every DLC I would buy would be for Call of Duty, especially for the zombie map. But really fun DLC, getting to play as Robin with his own unique fighting style. And that's another thing that enhances the experience of the game, that each playable character has their own fighting style. Even how they navigate the map is different. Playing as Catwoman is a refreshing take on the gameplay in the world. One of my favorite things, not just about Arkham City but the trilogy as a whole, is the awesome community that it gave birth to. One of my all-time favorite YouTube channels is the legendary Batman Arkham Videos, a channel entirely dedicated to the Batman Arkham series. From doing full-on walkthroughs, how-tos, Easter egg videos, and news on anything Batman Arkham related. His gameplay as Batman is so sick. He never takes a single hit. Out of all the videos he's done on gameplay, I don't think he's ever taken a single hit of damage. Back in the day, I would watch his videos, thinking I could beat the entirety of Arkham City without taking damage, only to get hit as Bruce Wayne in the beginning of the game. And his Easter egg videos are some of the most memorable videos I have watched on YouTube. One of my favorite series ever, and this introduced me to my favorite Easter egg in gaming history, Big Head Mode. So fun, so funny, great memories of doing it as a kid, and laughing at every character. And how can I forget one of the funniest subreddits ever, Batman Arkham. Batman Arkham City is a masterpiece, and this video is my nostalgic childhood love letter to the game and to the awesome devs at Rocksteady, or what was Rocksteady a decade ago. Hopefully Sefton Hill brings the game back together for one more banger. A Ninja Turtle game perhaps?